For over 100 years, the Etowah Indian Mounds were the Tumlin Mounds. In 1832, Colonel Lewis Tumlin came to Cass County and drew the land lot that contained the mounds. Colonel Tumlin served as county sheriff from 1834 to 1840. As young soldiers, General William T. Sherman and Colonel Tumlin became friends. First visiting the mounds in 1844, Sherman returned in 1864 and spared Colonel Tumlin's home. In 1887, the Tumlins allowed the Smithsonian Institute's Bureau of American Ethnology to survey and partially explore Mound C under the direction of Dr. Cyrus Thomas. Being great protectors and conservationists, Georgia's succession Roberts Tumlin, along with her son Lewis Henry Tumlin Sr., did not allow the site to be disturbed, especially the burials. Professional excavations of the site were conducted in 1925, 26, and 1927 by Warren K. Moorhead. In 1953, the Georgia Historical Commission purchased the property from the Tumlin family. The site became the Etowah Indian Mound State Park. Colonel Tumlin's great-grandson, Lewis Henry Tumlin Jr., became the first resident custodian of the park. Henry's devotion and tireless service helped to make the Etowah Indian Mounds a prominent state historic site. This is the Etowah Mounds in Georgia. Let's go. I'm here at the Etowah Mounds National Park. This is your boy P9, and this is the museum for the Etowah Mounds in Cartersville, Georgia. So we're gonna take a walk around the museum where the Etowah Native tribes that built their mounds, established a city and all of that good stuff. You have this sculpture before we go in called the Etowah Chief. It's by artist Barry Henderson, sculpted in 2021. As you can see right here, these are all the donors. It's just a nice little sculpture made out of bronze of the Etowah Chief, symbolizing their history and their origins right here in present day Georgia. And this is the museum. So we about to go take a walk. This is where we are, right around here. So let's go check it out, shall we? So I came into the Etowah Indian Mound State Historic Site. This is my first vlog at an Indian Mound site. So this is going to be very exciting. I'm going to take you guys along with me and let's get into it, shall we? So Etowah, it was more than just a tribe. It was actually a city. It's an ancient city, and it was on the north bank of the Etowah River, and it's a mound complex. They have different mounds. They have Mound A and Mound B, which we're going to see after a while. But check this out. They built this city similar. This was basically the foundation of how later, more modern cities became built. In other words, they built courthouses, they built councils, gathering places. And this is one of the huts right here. It's one of the huts. I'm gonna go check this out over here. So I believe this had to have been it looks like this was a river path at one point in time. You could tell this is a river. And of course, the rivers were very crucial part of life for the Mississippian culture. The Mississippians were the people and original inhabitants of the land. This is how they do like surveying and ground penetrating. They use GPRs. This is what archaeologists use to detect artifacts, and they have a much larger depth than conventional metal detectors. And the device is called a magnetometer. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, very interesting. Really nice place for archaeologists to come, and historians as well, to come and get some really nice history. Etowah River formed the southern border of the village. A series of burrow pits connected by a large ditch, once 9 to 10 feet, surrounded by the remainder of the site. Originally, the ditch enclosed more than 50 acres before portions were filled during the 19th century for agricultural purposes. Using handmade stone tools, the native peoples dug soil, formed burrow pits and ditch, and carried it in baskets to 6 earthen mounds. So mound building was a big part of the culture, as you can see this image right here. So they had to be they had basically to be innovative during that time, because that was their way of survival. They had to use tools, handmade. Everything was handmade. Just like any other native culture. And they would use these to build mounds. They would use these to build mounds before the days of cranes and modernized equipment, construction equipment. That's what they had. They had their hands and handmade tools. Here's the native grasses, native plants right here at Etowah. And it's there's different forms of grass: bluegrass, switchgrass, and eastern gamma grass, as well as river oats. I guess the river, was a way of cultivating a lot of these grasses native to the land. Of course, being that this is Georgia, deep south, a lot of rain, precipitation makes the land arable, makes the land fertile, and the natives thrived on that because a lot of crops were formulated via the rain. So, of course, the natives lived off of the land. So rising on the north bank of the Etowah River, the Etowah Mound Complex had 3 main periods of occupation between 1000 and 1500 CE. And mound sites like Etowah experienced periods of abandonment and reoccupation, and their size and regional influence could fluctuate as well. Etowah began as a modest village before growing into a major regional capital by its second period of occupation. And by the third period of occupation, it was a secondary village within the Coosa chiefdom. The Mississippian era refers to the time period between 1000 to 1520 CE, when groups of people developed complex and interactive societies ruled by chiefdoms in the Mississippi Valley and throughout the Southeast. So Indian mounds are very common and prevalent in states like Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, South and North Carolina, Missouri, Illinois, places like that, and even Florida. And Etowah's village increased and decreased in size and population throughout its 600 years of occupation. So village residents supplied the labor that supported the society's elite. They raised crops, hunted and fished, built mounds and palisades, made tools, baskets, and pottery, and presented hides, cooked and trained their children, traded with other villages, played games of chunky, and celebrated the seasons and worshiped their gods. Many were trained to carry out specific tasks, such as production of chipped or ground stone tools. Others created beautiful hide garments or the copper ornaments worn by the Etowah's elites. So at times, disease, famine, droughts, floods, fires, harsh winters, and seasonal storms drove the people from their homes in the village. They took refuge where shelter could be found. Etowah saw periods of abandonment, often coinciding with one of these natural disasters. So again, those harsh winters and everything like that, natural disasters basically created a lot of turmoil for these tribes. After AD 1500, Etowah's occupants moved downriver toward the Coosa River and Alabama. Some researchers believe the arrival of additional Europeans caused this social disruption. Of course, it is well documented that European diseases such as measles and smallpox decimated many native populations. By the time the Etowah River Valley saw its first European settlers, the local Cherokee Indians attributed the mounds to the ancient people, remembered only in their oral traditions. Yeah, so, stuff like that can really decimate the population. And that's very, unfortunate, because when you have that disruption, you have what ultimately leads to the disbandment of a once thriving society. And we're on the grounds of an ancient city of Etowah or Etowah. The pronunciation is variant, so it could be either Etowah or Etowah, I would presume. But that right there is Mound A, which we're going to walk up shortly. I'll take you guys up them steps. So they had, of course, as usual, these native tribes, they have their tradition, their rituals and things like that. And the most recent archaeological work at Etowah indicates that one large plaza existed to the east of Mound A, again, which is right there. Smaller plazas may have been present beside other mounds at various times. The plaza served the community as a gathering place for ceremonies, storytelling, trade, greeting visitors, and even playing games such as Chunky or the Native American stickball game, from which lacrosse originated. Oh, so yes, so lacrosse, a very popular sport here in America. It had its origins right in the Native American tribes. They just used sticks and just ran across the field, played stickball. And here's a illustration by I believe the artist's name is Wallace. As you can see right there, 2007 illustration of the native tribes in the Southeast conducting their annual meetups and traditions. And here's the stickball, or here's the spears that they use. And they place great importance on the game of Chunky, or Chunky as it was pronounced in the original native language. It was played by the warriors with beautifully symmetrical discodial stones. Chunky served as a general amusement, a test of stamina, and a game of chance. Most often played with only 2 players per side. Each player carried a pole or spear from 8 to 15 feet in length. Communities considered their chunky stones prized possessions. Awarded the strictest care, they were often passed down from generation to generation. And games of skill pitted one village of tribe against one another. And here are the chunky stones that were just mentioned. These are the prized possessions. And, and this is the 19th century sketch of a ball stick. So, yeah, it was a huge cultural game. And again, that is where the game of lacrosse was descended from. Descended from stickball. I'm gonna take this long walk up these stairs, up the mound. Hey, how y'all doing? Good. Made it on down, huh?
Only 125.
125. Uh-oh.
Man in shape, he'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful view, enjoy it.
All right, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
See ya.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Walking up these steps. Well, it's good. I got the. It's good that the nice lady gave me the vote of confidence. I'm in good shape, saying I'm in good shape, so I should be able to go up these stairs effortlessly. These are quite a bit of stairs too. And the gentleman told me it was like 125 of these steps. It's a lot of stairs. How many flights of steps you guys think 125 stairs is equal to? She said the views are astounding as well from up here. Woo, my legs are burning. Woo, I made it to the top though. They say it's easier to come down than it is to go up, so. And look at these views. Look at these views. You can see mountains from over here. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, guys, if I'm breathing heavy. Sound like I'm breathing heavy. Man, there was some steps. So you definitely want to keep off the slopes, because when you look down from these mounds on these slopes, it's very dangerous if you get too close to them. But you can get really, really nice views. You can even see like a power plant from over here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I see a power plant. Really nice little walk. And again, this is Mound A. So this is literally the biggest mound right here. Yeah. Hey.
I was hoping I was going to have a video I was going to show you.
Okay, so it was from this mound right up here where the chief, looks like the chief would give like speeches or something up from over here, from all the way up here. Told his chief, distributed food to his people from the public granary in times of need or famine, and could solicit tribute from outlying villages he also controlled. So I'm guessing the river was probably like the river looks like it was right around this way, right down there. Oh, there goes the river right there, actually. Yeah. But based on archaeological findings, written descriptions, and their imagination, many artists have sketched their view of Etowah. The view from the top of Mound A illustrates a tribal chief greeting his villagers. So there you go. There goes the chief greeting the villagers gathered on the plaza below at sunrise. Etowah's Mound A commanded a tremendous view of the surrounding area and nearby Etowah Mountains. So I'm guessing these are the Etowah Mountains then, right over here. I was wondering what mountains these were. I was going to go on a limb and say Blue Ridge, but I think these are more like the Etowahs, but they might be. I'm not sure. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these are the Etowahs. And archaeologists, discovered the presence of at least 4 structures that once topped the mound. Structure 1, square with an open interior and a portico on the east side. Archaeologists working with tribal leaders contribute to bridge the gap between nature, curiosity about the sensitivities of the Indians. So one of these archaeologists, Adam King, discovered small groups of houses to the north and west of Mound A that clustered around Little Plaza. Working with the Muskogee Creek people, archaeologists hope to completely mound the village in the next few years. Wow, so yeah. The largest mound in the village right here. So I'm about to make my way back down these steps. I don't know. What's harder, going up or going down? How you doing? Yeah. I think it's easier going down. The momentum is basically carrying you downward. It's good to see people come out here to come visit and get the scenery and get the history, because this is very, very, in my opinion, obscure history in a lot of ways. Some people know about it, but I feel like it's, it's a lot of Native culture, Native American history is definitely obscure. Let me see if I can make my way by the river too. You know, I like going to the river, so you know how that go. See, that wasn't so bad, guys. I'm gonna tell you, if you're in shape, you'll be good. If you're in great shape, you'll be good, man. You'll be walking up those stairs. It looks intimidating at first. It looks kind of dreadful at first, but it's really not too bad. Oh, before I go, let me get this marker right here at the bottom. So Mound A was a symbol of a chiefdom. Etowah was a Native American chiefdom. Chiefdoms consisted of a highly structured social order and permanent political officers. Kinship rules guided social ranking, and political officers received the right to rule by virtue of birth. As both a political and religious leader, a chief ruled until his death. From his temple and home atop Mound A, the chief could rule his people and perform religious ceremonies. Georgia's chiefdom societies emerged around AD 1000. Early Spanish explorers, including De Soto, who visited Etowah around AD 1540, described a complex system of paramount chiefdoms where individual chiefs and their supporters formed alliances and fought wars to establish their regional political dominance. Mound A, a temple mound, stands about 65 feet high. A broad ramp projects from its eastern side, and a smaller terrace is attached to the south. Construction most likely began in the early years of Etowah's occupation. About AD 1000, around AD 1300, Etowah rose to prominence, peaking at 1325 AD. Considerable mound construction occurred during these years. So, yeah, it was the staircase was uncovered during archaeological excavations, and the staircase measured approximately 22 feet. So, yeah, so back then they had a social hierarchy, which is similar to what the modern government is here in the United States. You know, you have your governors, you have your council members, different forms of government, basically different levels of government. And here's Mound B right here. Maybe I can get a good view. Maybe I can see the river from here. I mean, I could see the river from Mound A, but I could probably get a closer view of the river from Mound B. Archaeological excavation shows that Mound B first two construction phases took place during Etowah's late Etowah period. This construction resulted in a small platform mound about 1/2 of its final size. After a short period when the site was abandoned, construction continued on Mound B from AD 1250 to 1325. Mound building increased the footprint, and the mound to north and structures were built on its summit. So structure 3 served as a special function site associated with restricted and probably elite segment of Etowah society. So this was an exclusive mound right here, structure 3. And structure 4 served Etowah's people in the same manner as structure 3. So that's the stairs to that. That's Mound C over there. Let's go over here. What's going on, YouTube family? It's your boy P9 with another live stream. I'm over here at the Etowah Mounds, the Etowah Mounds Indian site, Native American site, right here in Georgia. So this is the river right here. This is the Etowah River, as you can see. And generally they have a pretty rapid current due to the hydroelectric flow. And check out this tree right here. It's a cottonwood. And it's a cottonwood tree. And a lot of the native tribes, they would extract tea from this particular tree in order to build canoes, and also for medicinal purposes, like for if they had to cure a fever or something of that nature. And right here, this is a marker that talks about how fish trap dams were built out of stone and river rocks for the purpose of trapping and catching fish. Often built in narrow passage of a flowing stream or river, fish dams made catching fish much easier. The majority of recorded fish traps dams consisted of V-shaped rock walls with the opening for the trap at the downstream apex of the structure. So in larger streams and rivers, a dam with an upstream apex was built to trap various migrating species. So here's the multitude of species of fish they have in the Etowah River, where a lot of the Native Americans caught for food: the black crappie, the yellow bullhead, chain pickerel, and the channel catfish. Now, early explorers wrote of Indians spearing fish in the South's great rivers because of, of course, the river flow was helped again by rainfall. So yeah, this is them. This is Wallace, another piece of artwork by Wallace. Shout out to him. This is the natives building these traps, these fish traps. So again, they had to live off the land, and they had to work together to create their methods of catching food. Obviously, no grocery stores, no modernized way of obtaining their food. They had to do it off the land. They had to do it the natural way. Pierce rock net sinkers and the Native American bonefish hook. So, really nice view of the Etowah River. But that does it for the outdoor mounds part of the Etowah Indian Mounds State Historic Site. I'm gonna continue inside for a little bit before I wrap things up. But yes, definitely guys, come check it out. The Etowah Indian Mounds State Historic Site here in Cartersville, Georgia. $6 admission. Can't beat that with a stick. Well, guys, this concludes this vlog from the Etowah Indian Historical Site Museum right here in Cartersville, Georgia. I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning into this vlog. And I also did a live stream from here. So if you guys want to check out the live, go check that out. And the live, that's where I went into the actual, the museum portion of it, and, the artifacts and everything like that. And the vlog pretty much covers primarily the outdoors and the mounds. So check that out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And once you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the notification bell. Once you hit the bell, make sure you also select all. That way you get notified each and every time I drop a new vlog. That in mind, good people, thanks again for tuning in. See you guys on the next one. Peace.